Most boat owners are not losing money at the dealership or at the fuel dock. They are losing it at the slip, slowly, quietly, on a boat that looks completely fine from the outside, while 4 separate systems are running the clock on a repair bill that is going to show up whether they see it coming or not. The mistake is not dramatic, it is deferred. It compounds every single month the boat sits in the water. I spent the last month going through BoatUS loss data, marine surveyor documentation, and ABYC technical guidance on the 4 most expensive silent failure modes in saltwater boating. What I found is that the same 4 items, all cheap to maintain and all catastrophic to ignore, show up in claim after claim, survey after survey, dock sinking after dock sinking. Here's exactly what they are and what they are costing owners who do not know. Mistake 1. Neglected sacrificial anodes. Saltwater is an electrolyte. The moment 2 dissimilar metals are submerged in it and electrically connected, a galvanic cell forms, and the less noble metal begins to corrode. On a typical saltwater boat, that means your propeller, prop shaft, trim tabs, through hull fittings, and lower unit are all under constant electrochemical attack. Sacrificial anodes, the zinc or aluminum blocks bolted to those components, exist to take that attack instead. They corrode first, on purpose, so your hardware does not. Here is the problem. Anodes need to be replaced when they are approximately 50% consumed. Most owners do not check them until haul out, which can mean an entire season of unprotected metal. A propeller replacement on a twin-engine offshore center console runs anywhere from $600 to over $2,000, depending on size and material. A corroded prop shaft or damaged outdrive can run several thousand more. Zinc anodes cost between $10 and $60 each and take 20 minutes to swap. The math is not complicated. If you keep your boat in a saltwater slip, check your anodes at least twice a season. Replace them before they are gone, not after. Confirm you are using the right material: zinc for saltwater, aluminum for brackish, magnesium for freshwater only. Using the wrong anode type does not just reduce protection, it can actively accelerate corrosion. Mistake 2. Skipping the raw water impeller. Your engine's raw water pump has a rubber impeller that pulls water from outside the hull and routes it through the heat exchanger to cool the engine. That rubber impeller is a wear item. It degrades with heat, age, and use. And when it fails, either gradually losing flow or shattering suddenly, the engine loses its primary cooling source. A failed impeller means an overheated engine. An overheated engine means potential damage to the head gasket, cylinders, and engine block. Engine repair or replacement on an outboard or stern drive runs from several $1,000s into the tens of thousands, depending on severity. Marine technicians consistently recommend replacing the impeller every 100 hours of operation or every 2 seasons, whichever comes first. If your boat has no documented service history, replace it immediately, not at the end of the season. The impeller itself costs between $20 and $60. The part has one job. It is one of the cheapest components on the boat and one of the most expensive to ignore. Running a raw water pump dry for even a few minutes at the wrong moment is enough to shred it and trigger everything downstream. Mistake 3. Ignoring the bilge system. BoatUS documented that 69% of boats that sink do so while moored at the dock, not offshore, not in a storm, at the slip. The mechanism is almost always the same: a slow leak from a through-hull fitting, a worn hose clamp, a degraded bellows or a stuffing box, and a bilge pump that either failed silently or could not keep up because nobody was checking it. The bilge pump is not designed to save a boat from a major breach. It is designed to manage slow accumulation. But even that function depends on a float switch that is not corroded, a strainer that is not clogged, and a battery that still has a charge. All three of those can fail without any visible indication at the helm. The cost of repairing a boat that has been submerged, even briefly, is documented by BoatUS at approximately 40% of the vessel's value. On a $200,000 center console, that is $80,000 in damage from a problem that starts with a $25 hose clamp and a bilge pump that nobody tested in 8 months. Check your bilge pump float switch at every visit. Pull the strainer and clean it. Test the pump manually, and trace every through-hull fitting for signs of corrosion or weeping at the joint. These checks take 10 minutes. The alternative does not. If you have made it this far, hit subscribe. Mistake 4. Deferring bottom paint and hull moisture. Here is the one most owners get wrong because it does not announce itself. A boat hull absorbs moisture at the laminate level through a process called osmosis. Water molecules pass through the gel coat and into the fiberglass matrix over time, especially in hulls that sit wet year-round. In a hull that is not protected with proper anti-fouling bottom paint and a vinyl ester or epoxy barrier coat, that moisture absorption is continuous and silent. The result, over time, is blistering at the gel coat to laminate interface, delamination, and structural softening of the hull substrate. A minor blister repair on an average size center console runs from $1,000 to $3,000. A full osmotic blister treatment, which requires grinding, drying the hull for months, and relaminating, runs from $5,000 to over $20,000 depending on the extent of saturation. And the hull damage is happening while the boat is sitting in the water looking completely normal. The fix is straightforward. Haul the boat once a year, let it sit on the hard long enough for surface moisture to dissipate. Apply a quality anti-fouling bottom paint compatible with your hull material. If the boat has never had a barrier coat applied over the original gel coat, that is the highest return maintenance investment you can make. An independent marine surveyor running a moisture meter across a hull that has been wet, slipped for 5 consecutive years, without proper barrier protection, will find readings that most owners never expected to see. The damage is already done. The question is how far it has progressed. Every one of these 4 items is cheap to maintain. Anodes, impeller, bilge system, bottom paint. None of them require specialized knowledge or expensive tools. The owners who get hit with the 5-figure repair bills are not getting unlucky. They are deferring $20 decisions until they become $20,000 consequences. Saltwater does not negotiate, and it does not wait. Here is the actual maintenance schedule that prevents all 4 of these from compounding into the same bill. Check and replace anodes when they hit 50%, not at haul out twice a season. Replace the raw water impeller every 100 hours or every 2 seasons, whichever comes first. Test your bilge pump float switch and clean the strainer every single time you visit the boat. And haul it once a year, not every 2 or 3 years, annually so bottom paint can be inspected, applied fresh, and the hull can be read with a moisture meter before absorption progresses to where repair costs exceed maintenance costs by a factor of 10. None of this is complicated. All of it is skippable right up until it is not.